apply for the top-level domain Berlin for all Berliners. I'm proud to make an interesting announcement today, because we as cities, that means Barcelona, sitting here in the room as well, Hamburg, New York, Paris and Berlin, founded yesterday a stakeholder group which has certainly common interests, and this group will participate in the structures in the framework in ICANN, and to bring in our interests there. I can encourage other groups as well to if there are common interests, to found such groups. Yeah, in our group we also discussed best practices in city top-level domains, and one of the best practices I'd like to show today, an example, is the city TLD's namespace mandate. So the cities concerned and we're working with are, as explained, together with PDX, that's for Portland, a new initiative, and Quebec, but Quebec isn't sure if it's city TLD or region or both. We'll find out in a while. So what is a namespace mandate or a namespace management approach? A namespace, the city TLD namespace mandate is a voluntary, that's important, obligation of a city top-level domain manager to build a reasonable framework for the allocation of domain names. This can include a lot of things, I will show you later, but the framework should be, and that is important, fair and transparent to the community you are applying for, and should be based on a multi-stakeholder consultation and approach. We did this in Berlin, and we had very good experience to, like ICANN, to involve all the interest groups which are like to show up and speak up. The city TLD mandate is designed to foster the use, the growth and added value for the city TLD and for the concerned city community. Why do we such namespace mandate? If a main namespace mandate had been in the establishment in, for example, .us or .org or .com or other generic top-level domain names, you wouldn't see an empty page on www.whitehouse.us. It's a page where nothing is on, and people are typing in such domain names like whitehouse.us because it's like the parliament.your-country, and you expect something to be there. And this is something which people don't like. They are disappointed when they go to such domain names. Yeah, how can a namespace look like within the framework of the following sunrise, as we heard from Nacho in .cat, and the land rush or potential auction? This namespace mandate can be divided into sub-mandates, for example, names which are delegated before the sunrise to the sovereign interests of governments, institutions, courts, schools, and all the public bodies and institutions. Then there might be competitive interests of the city. Cities are in competition with other cities, so tourism, culture, sport, science is very important, and a name like visit.Berlin, visit.NYC, that are the striking names city marketing is using, and they should use it, and they must be able to get the name. So a mandate for them to get the name might be very interesting. Then we have community assigned terms, especially in region, for regional, city and cultural top-level domain names. Community assigned terms like the yellow page terms, let's say roof house, city map or traffic or others, should be on roofer. You should not find a single roofer or the page, this domain name is for sale. You should find at least a list of roofers where all roofers in that city are listed. Language versions of the terms are important because many cities have big communities. In Berlin we have the Turkish community with I think 20% of our individuals in the city citizens. Yeah, and maybe also terms reserved for, let me say, WIPO2 recommendations, which means INNs, pharmaceutical ones, international governmental organizations, geographical names, and so on. Yeah, the namespace mandate, we think, is a key success factor for at least the city and the regional TODs, but maybe also to other TODs, because the domain names of this mandate, they can immediately start it when they are allocated, immediately start when the TOD is in the root and not after sunrise, after land rush or whatever. This can be days after. If you prepare with your community these names, the websites can immediately go online and create a lot of visibility. Certainty is also important. Whitehouse.us is a classical example. Why don't people trust in .us? Because whitehouse.us isn't assigned at all, or there's a for sale page in the worst case on it. Direction. People search not only with search engines. We have different studies seen in the last years that many people still type in the domain name. If it's in the Google browser area of it, it's in the browser area. So type in is important, and people will type in whitehouse.us or hotel.berlin or taxi.paris. And it's important that they find something, and this creates good direction for the users. And the last term I have here, intuition. That's a hard to pronounce word, but this basic order of the namespace mandate will establish an intuitive and somehow semantic use of the domain names which are delegated by this namespace mandate. Yeah, examples here might be for Berlin City Hall, .Berlin, Kindergarten.Berlin, Rufer, or Weather.Berlin. People should find exactly what they are looking for under these domain names, and this is an important task. The CCTODs and most of the other GTODs didn't have the chance because they were running on first come, first serve, but the new top-level domain names can do it better. Yeah, namespace mandate, that's my last slide. That might be a very flexible tool. It's not only for geo top-level domain names, but maybe also interesting for industry communities like car, blog, pharma, whatever, or company TODs where people find at www.jobs.ibm exactly jobs at IBM, not to be in competition with the jobs top-level domain names. I don't want to confuse with that. So that's my view on how namespace mandates for new top-level domain names can be a very good tool, which is great for the community and also for the internet user. Thank you.
Thank you. During Dirk's presentation, he had one pronoun